Right, welcome back to the afternoon program. I thought maybe I'll start with two organizational things in the beginning. One question that I'm already anticipating, maybe it's already in the question box, so I'm too late, but if it's not, often people ask if the slides that I'm presenting will be available. So what I usually do, I put them in a PDF and I'll try to get Christina to help me to put it on the YouTube videos. So if you go into the comment section there, it will be in a G drive, so there will be a link where you can access what I've been presenting on the slides. If it's relevant, probably not the meditation dog or something, but if it's anything about the sutta that I chose for this weekend retreat. The other thing is, this morning I realized we just kind of walked off, but I mean, the schedule usually gives you a fair idea, but because we have a few things happening this afternoon, I just thought I'll go through it. So we'll have a Dhamma input and then a guided meditation or a guidance into meditation, just like this morning, where you can just meditate afterwards for however long feels right for you at that time, and just switch between sitting and walking meditation, having a cup of tea, resting, sitting outside on the bench. We have a few offers though, so from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Shiranga has kindly offered again to do some gentle yoga, and the weather is good at the moment, so that would presumably be outside the dining hall, is that right? Yep. If for any reason it just suddenly is very cloudy or windy or whatever, we might have to come inside here in one of the walking meditation halls, but I think that should be fine. There will be interviews happening at that time as well, personal interviews, so people have put their names down already. I think there was one more spot for tomorrow if someone is interested. And then we have a little bit of a tea break. Oh, sorry, and then there is a second thing which we offer after the tea break actually, between 6 and 7. Again, Sharanga and I think another volunteer will go for a mindful nature walk. So it's like a guided walk if you wish to join that. It's around the time when the sun will be setting, so it's quite a nice time of the day. The other thing I will do, I will sort out some of those candles which hopefully are still okay and put them outside with lighters. So if you wish, once it's getting dark, to light a candle, walk around the stupa, offer it to the Buddha, do a bit of letting go, put it on the stupa. You can just do that whenever, when they're still available and when you feel like it. And then in the evening we'll have the Q&A session between 7 and 8, or 7 and 8:30, depending how many questions you have, basically, and how long our answers will be. Cool. Okay. I hope that answers any questions that you might have had for the program this afternoon. Right. Let's go back to the sutta. So what we were discussing this morning was the 3 reflections. So I'll just repeat them quickly in the beginning here. I am no longer living according to worldly aims and values. My livelihood is tied up, dependent upon, and supported by others. My behavior, my conduct should be different. This should be reflected upon again and again. So that's the 3 reflections and the 3 perceptions. And in this sutta it says that fulfills 7 things. So that's what we will be looking at now. So the Pali term there is paripureti, and it literally means to cause, to fill. So it's development, but it's a filling up. And then I always really love this kind of symbolism of a vessel overflowing. And the people who come to the monastery, when they offer dana, when they bring food, the monk actually, the head monk usually does a chant, and the paripurenti is actually one of the words in there. And people pour water into one vessel that overflows into another vessel. And it's also kind of a ritual that we do to remind ourselves that the goodness that we do actually overflows into the world. We share it with the people around us, with our families, with the society, and we can actually dedicate merits as well. We can invite other beings to come and rejoice in what goodness we are doing. So sometimes sharing merit is kind of the wrong word, because it's not like something you take and you give to another person, like we can share or give. It's rather inviting them to see. So when someone does something really kind, something really selfless, something really good, and you see that and you rejoice, it uplifts your heart. And that's basically what we're doing. We are remembering the good deed that we do, uplifting, inspiring our own heart, and then inviting other people that are not present. Well, they might be present, but usually they're not present. And we share, we dedicate it to people who are suffering or to our departed loved ones. Anyway, but this is a different filling, a different fulfilling here now. So the 7 things, what 7 are they? Their deeds and behavior are always consistent with the precepts, with sila, the foundation of the spiritual path. So here, again, it's not quite something that we develop here even. It's something that happens quite naturally. If we have these reflections in our minds, if we have set our minds in that direction, the result will be that our behaviors kind of move in the right direction. But of course it's good to know what sila means, and usually in Buddhism that is the 5 precepts: not killing, not stealing, not lying, no intoxicants, and did I forget one? Goodness, what was there? What did I forget? Oh, that's right, sexual misconduct. Yeah, number 3. That's true, there were 5, yeah. And then the 8 precepts that have to do with renunciation. So that's what we practice in an environment such as this one, where we don't eat in the afternoon, where we refrain from beautifying our bodies, because a retreat is not a beauty contest. We're looking inside, we're not looking outside. So we don't basically have to worry about that at that stage. And then the last one is not to sleep on high luxurious beds, which basically means not to indulge in sleep. But usually for a weekend retreat, we come so sleep deprived into the retreat that first we basically have to balance out our rest and our sleep again. So that's something which usually applies when you are in a longer retreat situation, where you can start to experiment and to see, how much sleep do I actually need, and how am I managing my energies? Am I wasting my energies? Am I lying in bed awake rather than sleeping? Am I, wasting my energy on unwholesome or on angry, resentful thoughts that zap the energy out of me? Am I ruminating about problems in the world that are really none of my business when I'm in a retreat situation? Or am I looking around what other people are doing? That all zaps us of energy. But when we cultivate mindfulness and the energies come together, then, and we don't waste them, we protect that, then we need less rest. So that's like one of the things it fulfills. That's the translation from Bhante Sujato. And the Pali terms used here are actually continuously observing, consistently doing. So the continuation is a really important thing in here that Bhante Cunda actually stressed on the first day. Continuity is key. Applying our minds again and again and consistently, continuously. And with a consistent mode of living, with an accordant lifestyle. And that's what we've already heard in the interviews, actually. Very often we have this idea of, work is one world and my practice and meditation is another world. But actually, the mind we are developing, the mind we are cultivating, is with us 24/7. Maybe we're not mindful enough to understand what's going on when we're sleeping, but at least outside of sleep, this continuous application and of practicing sila, for example, or of settling the mind, calming the mind, purifying the mind, is something which is happening the whole day. So we have to learn to apply our minds in meditation, in formal meditation, and then also in daily life, at work, with our families. So, Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation of this is one consistently acts and behaves in accord with virtuous behavior. But again, I wanted to emphasize where this comes from, what the basis for it is. And that's what we were chanting this morning in Pali, when we were basically remembering and venerating the Buddha. One of the qualities of the Buddha is Vicharana Sampanno. And when you translate that, it means that he is accomplished in knowledge and in conduct. So these two things are coming together. When wisdom has ripened, when wisdom is mature, then the conduct will automatically have already fallen into line. So when you see people misbehaving, you know they can't be accomplished in knowledge and wisdom. They might have just lost it for a little while, that's all right as well, that happens. Not with Buddhas, but with other beings. So give them a bit of slack and a bit of the benefit of the doubt, but it's important to understand that these two things, they come together. If someone consistently behaves in a way which is just not right, you will know that the knowledge and the wisdom hasn't really established and grown to a degree that is necessary on this path. But it is a gradual path and we go step by step. So that's the first one. Then the second one is they are content. They are not greedy. They are without longing. So not covetous, not avaricious, difficult words that I don't really know. But I think what it says above is kind of quite clear. And when we were reflecting on the generosity of the other people, that basically goes into this as well. When we are content, when we are happy, when we have appreciation, gratitude and thankfulness, then we are content. Then we're not trying to get more things. Then we are not longing for things. Some people love to long. But it's actually not a pleasant place to be in. It's so much nicer and so much better to be content. And I was just reflecting when lunch arrived today, so that's probably something for you now as well. I mean, a lot of you have done retreats before and know how it operates, but you can get a feeling and an understanding how it is for a monastic. So there is kind-hearted people who come and bring food so that we can practice, that we can develop our hearts, that we don't have to worry about, growing food and buying food and cooking food and storing food. So you can reflect on that. And the more content we are, the more easily satisfied we are, the easier our own life becomes, and the easier we make the lives of those people who support us, those people who help us. Then, the next result, kind-hearted without ill will. So, kind, friendly. Now this one again is based in right view, again is based in wisdom. Even if things go wrong, even if it's noisy outside, even if it's noisy inside the meditation hall, even if it's noisy within our own heads, then we need to have wisdom, then we need to understand that that is normal. Nature makes sounds. You can't go and switch off the birds. They'll just do the bird thing, and probably not when you like them. Or there might be some dogs around or some cars around, whatever. Bodies, they do their thing. Sometimes you can keep it in, you can. But then when you keep in your cough, it comes out, or you keep in your burp, it comes out as well, or whatever. Sometimes you can't quite control that as well. So you also realize that other people's bodies and our own body is nature as well. And if we have wisdom, then we understand, and then we have kindness and care towards whatever is happening, rather than having ill will. So we have goodwill, we have understanding. Then we are humble, we are not conceited, we are without arrogance. Quite a few of these things are mentioned in the Metta Sutta that we chanted this morning as well. So when we start to understand what this concept of non-self is all about, how causes and conditions come together and don't have so much to do with a person who has control over all these things, then we become more humble, then we're more in awe of what is happening. Humility, to me, is often just like sitting out on the stupa when it becomes dark and looking out into the sky and seeing all the stars, some of them like, thousands of light years away. And that's really humbling, isn't it? Why is it humbling? Because you realize something is bigger than you. You realize something is kind of awesome and powerful, but it's kind of out of your control. And that's what is very often happening in the world, with the people around us, with our own bodies, with our own minds. So when we can be humble about these things, and when we can understand how causes and effects operate without too much personality mixed in. So we understand when certain habits are developed, when certain causes and conditions are there, they will lead to a certain result. And if that's the result we want, great. Then we can try to encourage that, try to put more causes into place like that. When it's not working, then we can take a step back and be humble about it, not blame us or blame other people, and go like, which conditions, which causes would change things in such a way that there would be another outcome? So that's something we can play with. But we are just one cause. We have to understand that our intention, our will, is just one tiny little factor in a huge environment of things coming together. So we have some influence, we have some power, but we also have to be humble enough to understand there is many other influences, there is many other powers that we have to understand, harmonize with, and kind of build a partnership with to have a flow of things, hopefully in the right direction, in the skillful direction. Now, when we reflect on the three things, then we want to train, we want to practice. And that is important as well. Sometimes when we are not humble, when we already think we know everything, then we're not open to instruction. We're not eager to find out. We're not eager to try things out and to practice. So the Buddha has given many, many teachings. Sila, virtue, is one of those things that we can practice. And then also meditation. They're all practices. And hopefully we are eager and willing and open to surrender to those trainings and to let the training influence us and change us over time. So they want to train, they want to practice. And then we have the last one. They use the necessities of life after reflecting on their purpose. So for us monastics, as I mentioned this morning, that's basically the four requisites. That's food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. For lay people, that would be a little bit more. It's maybe not just four things you have to worry about. But I mean, if those four are covered, you're actually already in a quite good place. But you reflect on those things and you ask yourself, are all those things that I have actually helping me, or are they hindering me? Are they giving me more work to do, more things to worry about? Are they a tool which makes our lives easier, or are they using us as a tool for whatever means they might be interested in those things? Because the world, operates quite differently. The world wants to make profit very often, or the world wants to get some kind of results, or they want to have some grandiose outcomes. The four necessities, or the necessities of life, basically are there for simplicity. That is the most important thing on a spiritual path. And when we are simple, then we have simple things, we have few things, and they're easy to maintain. So that's something you can reflect upon as well. But if you are committed to this path, if you're committed to renunciation, if you are a renunciant and learning to renounce and let go more and more and more, you will realize that the things around you will lessen. They will become more simple, more minimalistic. And then you will also know why you're using certain things. One thing that I really enjoy as a monastic, because again, the generosity of the lay people, almost everything that I own, I haven't bought myself. The frames, my glasses, for example, I was a lay person still, so they're 30 years old. So they're still going strong, that's good. That was a good investment. So I can't actually think of a person who has given that to me. But with so many other things that I wear, you know, the bowl and the robes that we get when we ordain, a pair of shoes or sandals that someone has given, a laptop computer that I'm using. Every time I use these things, if I'm mindful, if I remember, I actually know who gave it to me with kindness. And that kind of makes me reflect and want to use that thing and not destroy it and get some benefit out of the thing that was given to me. Use it appropriately. Use it for the right purpose. So that's maybe just something I can share, how I practice this. So that's number 6 and another translation of number 6. One uses the requisites for maintaining one's life with an awareness of their purpose. So that's Bhikkhu Bodhi there. And sati sampajanya. Sati is mindfulness, and sampajanya is sometimes, it's satipanya, like panya is wisdom. So one aspect of the wisdom part is understanding why you're doing something and what the purpose of it is. So that fulfills that as well. Number 7, yes, now we got to that one. They are energetic. They apply themselves continuously. So when we talk about virya, which is sometimes also kind of translated as effort, as heroic effort, people very often get the wrong idea about that. They have this worldly idea of effort, of I have to really put a little of energy into something. And yes, there is a certain amount of energy, yes. But again, it all comes down to how we apply our mind, and if that is decreasing the energy or increasing the energy. And when you actually look at the Pali, it's energetic, with energy aroused, applying energy, making an effort, yes. But then it says, lives, dwells, stays, remains, continues, dwells. So the other part which is important here is, what did the word say there? It says, again, continuously. And it's more about applying a little bit of effort and then maintaining that effort. And that's sometimes something which is not so easy. I do fall into that trap myself sometimes. So you do a certain job and you want to get the job done, and you start to realize after 5, 10, 15 minutes that the effort you're applying is too forceful, is too strong, and you have to exert a lot of energy, and you actually get worn out in the process because you're holding the object or the job or whatever you're doing too forcefully, too harshly, and that is not helpful. So we have to hold it, or we have to put it down and watch it continuously, be with it continuously. But that kind of effort is so much lighter, and it's an effort that can be maintained over a longer period of time. And the most important part is that we are putting forth a little bit of effort, but we're also knowing when to have perspective, let go, don't get involved, don't force things, and have the process of focus, of gathering one's energy and intention, of settling, create its own energy. And that kind of maintains the energy level and even increases our energy over a long time. And then it's the so-called effortless effort. So we can stay with that task for a long, long period of time because we're not exhausting ourselves in the way how we apply our minds. And it is a job that inspires our mind, that settles our mind, that clarifies things, and that allows mindfulness and wisdom to arise at the same time. And then it can be maintained over a long period of time. Okay, so practitioners. Bhikkhave, so it's usually bhikkhu is the word that is used, so just that you understand, like when people give speeches and the king or the queen or I don't know, the president or the PM or whatever is present, you always mention, the highest person first, so to speak, and then you go down the list, and sometimes people give speeches and the first minute they have to kind of welcome all the dignitaries or whatever. So in the suttas, very often they just mention the kind of, there was the bhikkhus back then, like the people at the top of that kind of hierarchy, if you want to call it like that. And then they didn't have the whole list. So it included everybody. So they just chose one word, and the representative was the Bhikkhu Sangha at that time, which included the Bhikkhuni Sangha, which included the lay people, which included everyone who was listening to the talk. So that's why I chose the word practitioners here. Ajahn Sujato often uses mendicants. When those 3 perceptions and reflections for renunciants are developed, bhavita, and cultivated, bahulikata, they fulfill, paripureti, these 7 things. Okay, that's what I wanted to share about this sutta. I hope what I've shared this morning and this afternoon is something that makes sense and that inspires you to walk on this path and practice those beautiful teachings that are, almost 2,600 years old, but still so relevant today as they were back then. The minds of people have not changed much. A lot of other things have changed in 2,600 years, but the minds and the defilements that are in the mind and the peace and the calm and the wisdom that arises in the mind, they are pretty much still the same. Okay, great. So I'll pass over to Bhante Cunda for, I think, what was it? Walking meditation instructions, and then another guidance into meditation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay. So with the walking meditation, because have anyone haven't done walking meditation before? Okay, it's a few people. Okay, so it's good to explain how it works. So walking meditation is different from awareness of the breath. Because when you're aware of the breath, you use your breath to calm your mind and to relax the body. But sometimes this can be quite difficult to do if we live a very busy life, or if we find that if we can't settle the mind, then the alternative is to do walking meditation. Because walking meditation, the object goes from the breath and the mind to the whole body. So basically, when you walk back and forward, you're mainly aware of your sensation of your whole body, mainly your legs moving up, moving forward, and stepping down. Then the next back one, lifting up, moving forward, and stepping down. So walking meditation is basically just the whole sensation of moving your leg and just walking forward. So I can't use this, so I'll demonstrate. Doing walking meditation, usually your hands are over here. And you look down maybe just 1 or 2 meters. Then you always start off with the right and left leg. Just raising the leg, moving forward, dropping it, and the next one. So it's actually quite simple. So basically you're aware of your whole movement and the sensation of your whole leg. Just move, raising, dropping, raising, dropping, raising, and dropping. And best if we don't look around. That way that we are just mindful, just on our leg and the whole movement of our leg. You see most of you walk quite slowly, but you can also walk quickly. But it's good to just walk slowly first. So that way you're fully mindful on the whole movement of the leg. Once you get to the end, stop and just turn around. And continue again. The benefit of walking meditation is you get a bit of exercise. You don't feel sleepy after the meal. And also, it's more of a more gross movement. Because the mind is very subtle. So sometimes it's very hard to still or calm the mind. But with walking meditation, you also get the same result. When you're walking back and forward, after a while you get into the zone where you just walk and it's automatically walking. And your mind is so aware of the whole movement of walking that it becomes very calm and quite peaceful. And for people that do a lot of walking meditation, they say after maybe 1 hour of walking, you feel like the whole body is very light and they're just floating and it's just automatically walking back and forward. And your mind is just like, there's almost a one-pointedness where your mind is fully aware of the sensation of walking and your mind don't wander because it's just so engrossed into the whole movement of the body. And sometimes when you find that you become more calm and more peaceful, then you can stop and go back to sitting meditation. Because when I was a lay person, I find that if I sit down, it's like my mind is going all over the place. I can't settle it, and it's pretty restless. So I find that walking meditation, it helps to slowly calm and settle your mind within this body, just the whole walking back and forward. So once the mind is settled and calm, and when you go to the breath sitting meditation, it's a lot easier. Because the mind always hard to, you cannot just stop thinking or make it peaceful. So walking meditation is a great way of just bringing all your awareness to the body, especially the movement of the leg. Yes. So this is walking meditation. It's actually very simple. Do you have anything to add to it?
No, I think that's great. Thank you very much. I was just thinking if we should switch on the aircon. We do have one. Someone who knows where the button is. If no one disagrees. Is that okay? All right.
Some people quite enjoy walking meditation. It brings out a lot of energy to the body and the mind.
Yeah, as I said, I think, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think I must have mentioned it yesterday. Sometimes people talk about walking meditation as a second-class meditation, and that's not true. It is very, very powerful. And it's, again, just so valuable for this kind of application of using mindfulness and wisdom and awareness in your day-to-day life. Because you walk quite a bit in your day-to-day life. And what do you usually do when you walk? You think all sorts of stuff. You worry about what's going to happen when you get there. You worry about, what this person or that person, or you think or ruminate about stuff which is completely irrelevant. Or even worse, you're checking your phone while you're walking. Don't! It's dangerous! So, yes, everyone would be doing walking meditation.
Yes.
But of course, if you are, out on the street, you have a little bit more awareness to what's going on. So, but once you have practiced walking on those carpets, Ajahn Brahm often says that's our red carpet treatment. That's why we have the carpets there. They actually put them there because if you just put people in a room to do walking meditation, one person goes this way, the other person goes this way, and the rebels go crosswise, and then you need, like kind of traffic lights. So we just put carpets in, easy. No, but when you practice it in that environment, when there is a little bit more going on, then you can kind of take it into an environment where there is a little bit more going on. And you can still rest your awareness, rest your mindfulness on an object in your body, in your feet, or you can find some kind of place in your body to be aware of, to come back to in your day-to-day life when you're doing stuff. So walking meditation is really, really useful, beneficial, and it's a great tool.
Sometimes if you sit and your mind is a bit dull, then sometimes instead of just pushing, it's good to stop and just do some walking for 10-15 minutes. Bring up those energy again, and also the wakefulness, and then you come back and sit down and stay with the breath and the body. So walking meditation is very beneficial because sometimes when we do sitting all the time, it can be a bit dull. So walking is a great way just to brighten up the mind. And walking is not like something that will not bring you deeper, because what we heard that during the Buddhist time, a lot of monks and nuns, they actually became enlightened by doing walking meditation. So it is a very powerful practice once it's done properly. And if the mind is calm, the mind is peaceful, and is free of defilements, then when things arise in the mind, you can see things clearly. So walking is something that is I do really recommend it. And if you are sitting and your mind's going all over the place, then try walking. Walking is very simple. And when I was a layperson, I was so busy, so I find walking is quite beneficial. Some days I find that I sit down and my mind's going crazy, then I switch to walking. And walking will bring a lot of peace and a lot of calm and stillness of mind. And when that is developed, then basically it's easier just to sit down and stay with the breath. Because the world is changing very rapidly and very fast these days. So I read a statement from Ajahn Lee, one of the famous meditation masters. It's like you bring your mind out to the world, it's basically getting involved with the defilements of greed, anger, and delusion. But if we bring our mind to this body, this body of us, through walking meditation, sitting meditation, and reflecting this body, then basically we bring our mind to the Dhamma and to the practice. So that's why walking and sitting and just reflection within this mind and body and reflection on the teaching is just all we need to do. So the practice is within this body, watching the body, watching the mind, watching our feelings, watching the mind object, or watching the Dhamma, or the five senses. So when the mind goes into the five senses, it always brings out attachment or non-attachment. So attaching things is getting involved in things that will bring us unhappiness or attaching to the world. But if we stay within this body, then we are learning to lessen our attachment. As long as our mind is going out into the world, then we're getting caught up with the defilements of the world. Yep. Okay, so we can start the guided meditation. So today we do something slightly different. So I usually always try to do the body scanning, because it's always good to stay with the body. Yeah? But today we start from scanning our body from our feet all the way up to our head. Because when you do reverse body scanning, you get more energy in the mind. Because when you start from the top, all the way down to our toe or our feet, it tends to relax the body and relax the mind. So when you do the reverse, it tends to bring out more energy in the mind. Okay, so same thing, just sit comfortably. And if you need to sit on the chair, please do that. Because you don't try not to sit through pain if possible. Because if we're not having too much pain with our leg or our back, then it's easier to drop this body. Okay, so just gently close your eye and just mindfully take a couple of deep breaths. As you are grounded to this body, then we gently bring our awareness all the way down to both our feet. And if you need to, you can just adjust our posture, adjust our feet, make sure that it's nice and comfortable, and relax. It's not stiff. Relax our toe. Relax both our feet all the way to our ankle. And next, we relax both our feet from our ankle slowly all the way up to both our knees. And if you need to, you can just gently, mindfully adjusting gently. Relaxing our calf and relaxing both our knees. Then we move on from both our knees all the way slowly up to our hip. Then we just mindfully be aware of our lower back that's sitting on the cushion. And you can always gently move it around and adjust it. Just make it comfortable. Then aware of our hip. Slowly bring our awareness up to our tummy. So our tummy, if it's a bit stiff, we can just move it around and just loosen our tummy. Make sure our waist It's not too tight. Any clothing that's tight can be loosened. And we relax the tummy. Then next we'll bring awareness slowly up to where our kidneys are. Make sure it's nice and relax our kidney. Then gently bring awareness all the way up to our chest. Aware of our breathing in and out, calmly and relax. Make sure we are breathing not too fast. Just breathing in peace and breathing out relax. And next, bring awareness to our spine. Make sure it's nice and relaxed, not too stiff. Just relax our spine, our lower spine. And if you need to, you can adjust it, make it nice and relaxed. And bring the awareness gently from our lower spine all the way up to our upper spine. It's nice and straight, not too rigid. And just relax our back, our spine. And now, next, we bring awareness to our upper body, to where our arm socket is. Make sure it's not stiff or raised, and just bring it down and relax our upper body, where it's attached to both our arms. And now we bring awareness to both our arms, all the way down to our elbows. And gently bring awareness to our wrists. If you need to, you can just gently move it around, adjust it, make it comfortable. Same thing with both our hands. Just make it loose, comfortable and relaxed. And now we bring awareness gently, mindfully, all the way up to our neck. Our neck should be nice and straight, but not too rigid. If you need to, you can always just slightly cough or clear your throat. Your neck nice and straight, but not too stiff. Then now we bring awareness all the way up to our skull, where it's attached to our neck. And if you need to, you can just move it slightly around, loosen it, make it relax. Then we loosen our jaw. Make sure our jaw is not too stiff. Relaxing our jaw and relaxing our tongue. And then we relax both our cheek and we relax our eyes, our eye socket. Then we bring our awareness to our forehead, and we relax our forehead. And now we bring our awareness all the way up to our top of our head, and we just relax our skull. Yep. So with our head fully relaxed, we can just quickly feel our body. Any part of our body that's still a bit stiff, tight, or unease, you can just gently move it around, adjust it, then relax this body of ours. With the body relaxed, we can bring our awareness just to the front of our face and just notice our breathing in and out, calmly and gently. We can always use the word, just breathing in calm and breathing out relax. Calm, relax. Or breathing in peace, breathing out letting go. Peace, letting go. So mindfulness of the body is quite important. The more we are mindful, the more we can relax this body. Relax any tightness, any tension. So the body becomes tranquil and peaceful. Once the body is tranquil and peaceful, then we are mindful of our breathing in and out. So we know if we're breathing in long, or breathing out long, or we're breathing in short, or we're breathing out short. So we're just mindful of our breathing in and out. As our body relaxes and our mind becomes calm and peaceful, same with our thoughts will slowly settle. As we become more quiet, then we become more aware of our breathing in and out. And if you feel there's any tension, it's just good to be mindful of our face. So if there's any tension, then our face will be stiff. Then we just relax our face. And just mindfully bring your awareness back to the breathing. If you find your mind is still wandering a bit, it's okay. It's the nature of the mind to wander. Just gently bring your mind back to the body and just relax any stiffness in the body. You can just gently move your body around, make it at ease. Once your body is relaxed, and you gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Meditation is calming our thoughts and calming our emotion and making peace with this moment. And if you find your mind is still very busy, sometimes I like to have a simile where our mind or our thoughts is like a child. It's always crying or asking for attention. So sometimes it's good just to send metta to oneself. Just to reflect on, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free from suffering, and may I abide in peace and happiness. So sending metta to oneself is calming the inner child and putting it to peace and rest. So when our mind is peaceful and calm, it will be like a child that's resting in the background. Also, I forgot to mention, if you need a metta object, we do have the teddy bears both ends, where you can pick one up and just hold it, and just have metta to the teddy bear or to oneself. As you become more relaxed and the body become at ease, then the mind become more quiet. So our thoughts will be just like echo in the background. We are calm, we are peaceful, and we are aware of our breathing. And our thoughts will just come and go, just like echo in the background. But we stay with the peace of mind and a tranquil body. So please continue to practice sitting down or walking meditation.